Cybersec, well, come on in. How are you? How's the day going?
I am still dying. I'm expecting this stream to be shorter, but I said that last time as well, and it was one of the longest that we had in months, so we never know. But goddamn, I am. I know why everything is not working. Uh, but goddamn, the Mac is almost breaking by the simple fact that there is like too much heat and it can't cool down. So even though I'm trying, it just doesn't do anything. And then the the walls, the walls are the issue. The walls are retaining the heat. The bathroom walls and the kitchen walls have tiles on them, and the ceramic and the clay tile thing that they are using is basically just absorbing the heat from the outside. Like the wall is heating up, and then the tiles are heating up as well, and then they retain the heat for the whole day, which is wild. But yeah, we are not at 45. Obviously, we're at 37, 35 officially, and 37 in reality. But it's just like, goddamn. Officially speaking, it's supposed to rain, um, like midnight-ish today, and then tomorrow is supposed to rain as well. But then when I'm looking at the rain patterns and the thing that we're supposed to have here, at least in the small block that I have, it's gonna be 15 to 20 minutes maximum, and I guess the temperature is not gonna drop as much as it should. And then on Sunday, it's supposed to rain a lot more. And I'm hoping it's the same shit that happened in the UK yesterday. Um, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, so yeah, there is a guy that I met in 2025, I think. I think last year, um, roughly in the same period, I would say March, June, something like this. That did basically this. He decided to create a platform. I forgot the name, obviously, but he decided to create a platform that is looking at the Reddit threads called Business ID, I think, or Rate My Business, or something like these threads that are about potential product ID and so on, and has an AI assistant LLM things run the ID through a feasibility scale and then provide it as a here are IDs that you could do as a one shot on the weekend. And and then some people are just using the thing as an aggregator to find new IDs. So that's an interesting thing. I do remember, I think that he has this on a paid system, so you end up with something that is just like paid. So that's not good. So if you are building your own, also my hair is gonna piss me off today again. uh, if you're building your own, it's gonna be free, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a pretty common thing that I'm seeing because Reddit seems to be the only place where people are just dropping their IDs compared to Twitter when it used to be on Twitter and now it's just like Reddit. Oh, I had an ID. I just gonna ask people on Reddit and then see if I do it. And yeah, and there is also like the anti crowd, like the people that are doing the opposite and saying, well, I'm not gonna disclose what I'm doing because building in public means that other people are gonna steal my ID. And in that debate, the people that are doing the build in public things have been mostly saying, well, build in public is so much more beneficial than not. Because if you build in public, you have feedback from the user right away. And then they tell you, oh, yeah, this is going to work or this is not going to work, like almost instantly. And you can steer in the direction that makes the most sense. And then if you just care about people stealing your ID, um, you don't have any user feedback anyway. So that's the thing. But yeah, I need to go back into building in public. That's the output that I have from this. It's just like I haven't in a bit because I can't. Like for the past week, I can't. It's too hard for me to brain. And one day it will be good. One day I will be back in working on things. But yeah, I'm also very close to the cursor limit from last month of $80 spent, and I don't know if it's gonna stop at 80 again. So I'm kind of waiting. The features that I showcased last time um for perfume, for the sharing of perfume and so on, that is supposed to be right here. Um that thing on the perfume page specifically, I reverted everything. I showcased it, and it this is good enough, and this is bad for me, but this is good enough for now. It contains what needs to be contained, and later on, I think I would need to have a manual version of this where people can have the others option, the thing that I had, but it's just like the implementation was bad and it was breaking other things. So I decided to just revert everything, lose a week of work. Not that it matters, but yeah, losing a week of work and then moving on. But I have so much shit to do on this. Like the current thing that I want to have is in the wrapped for your months, like the perfume that you were on a very specific months, you have at the end specifically, you have a calendar of what you have used and when. So you can see that only one of the days, apparently, of March I didn't wear perfume, or at least I didn't record anything. And what I want to have here is instead of having, it's kind of weird and complicated to see on stream. I know I can't really zoom in. Um, each of the cells are currently orange E, like the main color of the app. But I think it would make more sense if each cells was taking the color of the perfume because they all have their own distinctive node system. So I guess I might do that. It's simple enough. Uh, so it could work, but I want to change this. And then in the yearly recap that we have in that same page with the calendar, it's currently going vertical, which is it makes sense, but the calendar itself is like a very thin strip of things, and I don't really like this. I feel like it would make more sense if we had horizontal swipeable things, but it also goes against the horizontal scroll from the whole system. So I don't necessarily know what I want to do, but these are the parts where I need to put in some work, and I know that I've been thinking about it for the past 2 months, and uh, and every time I'm like, I don't know if it's the right decision. I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know if this is gonna be good. So indecision is the enemy right there, and then cost as well. So that's the thing. Speaking about cost, by the way, just side note, the potential freelancing clients that I was supposed to have for this month decided to say no because apparently they went with a small agency that they already have worked with in the past. And it was a multiple team situation where the person that was in contact with me didn't really have contact with the rest of I mean, she had, but like not directly. And both team were looking for external help, and so she went with me and the rest of the team went with something else. And basically, by the time she came back with my stuff, they said, "Oh, we already started with that company that we already work with." So that's kind of sad for me in terms of the client, but that's also pretty good because that's liberate a bit of a slot so I can have like something else coming in. So we'll see. We will see. But yeah, that's a bit sad. Not too sad, but a bit sad still. Um, so we'll see when that happens. But yeah, that's the thing. I need to work on that, and then I also need to work on this because the animation in the loading screen is broken. It's supposed to be smooth opening and popping in, but right now it doesn't. And then some of the other things in there just don't make a lot of sense. So I need to figure out some of the details. I feel like I'm missing some things, and I'm also, as always, this is not new. This is not new. I'm still debating in do I really need to work on the app or do I need to work on the marketing and the distribution? And I know the answer. It's the other thing. I need to work on the marketing and the distribution so that people know that this app exists, but I'm not willing to, which is so bad. I should be willing to do that, but no, I that is not the case. I wish I could. I wish I could just do something about it and figure out exactly how the distribution is supposed to go and what would make the most sense for this thing so that people can discover or yeah, discover or find the app on its own. But so far, that's not good. It's just the amount of not fake advertisement, but like fake advertisement that I'm seeing on social media that is related to apps that I feel like is just bad. It's content that I wouldn't interact with, but I'm sure it works. I have one that I have saved for many reasons. Let me find it real quick. Um, it's been a bit though. It has been a bit, but we talked about them before. And Ruru, welcome in, welcome back. How are you? How's the day going? I like I see you pop in and then I don't know if you lurk or you disappear or something else. I also saw your profile picture on Twitter earlier yesterday from someone else's tweet. I don't know exactly what it was about. I think it was someone that was listing good designers on Twitter, so I think you were in there. So congrats on that. Um, can I find this bitch? Sorry. I think it was Tanvir that did that. You were in the grid. I'm not finding it. I'm not finding it. Again. Again. Piss me off. Why does it always happen? It's one of these things that I have saved, officially saved, and it's supposed to be in the bookmarks. But every time I look in my bookmarks, I just cannot find the thing in question. It's crazy. I have too many bookmarks. That's the reality. This bitch. God dang. So I talked about it before. I showcased their app before, and I'm making advertising for them without really doing it. But they are using this image and reposting that post 60,000 times. And and basically it works. But I don't know why my brain just doesn't want to comply with the simplicity of this is enough. Like there is something in my head that tells me this is too simple. You need something that is more complex for the marketing and the advertising. And they've been doing a ton of other things, um, and like very very simple presentations and shit. But it's just I feel like there is something that is missing on my own apps that wouldn't really work with presentations like this. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. Not gonna lie, I am probably wrong. And it's just I need to figure this thing out. But then again, they just been spamming the same video and images and things on repeat since they created the app, and it seems to have been working. And I don't know if I have the strength to do that, but god dang, like this image is just like every other post is the same shit. So maybe maybe I have to. Maybe that's the thing. I don't wanna. No. I hate doing it. And the only reason why I'm talking about them specifically every time is because that the the first time that I discovered their app, I was like, oh cool, the this thing looks interesting. Like I think this is the thing that I saw. They had like a very short 6-second video that like very, very simple. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's interesting. That's a nice presentation. And then because I liked that post specifically, I just saw everything else. And every single day, I saw this image on my feed. And I don't know. I think I was just bothered by the amount of spam that represented. But just anyways, details. But that's the thing that I needed to do. That's where we are. I need marketing materials and distribution materials and other things. So we might have to spend some times at a point to just figure out what I can do with these images. So yeah, Maddie, welcome on in. Welcome back. How are you? How's your day going? Uh, Thank you for introducing yourself on the Discord. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Um, you said that you are mostly a dev designer hybrid. Are you more on one side to the other? I'm guessing yes, but like the sub question is which side are you more on than the others? I'm guessing dev, but I don't know. Based on the fact that you came with props, that's the reason. But you might not. You might more be on the design section. I don't know. Yeah, also that emote is really cool. not gonna not gonna lie on that. So yeah, I need a yes, yes. More on the dev side, that makes sense. James, welcome back. How are you? How have you been? I am also on the more melted human side. I put the fan on the other side, right there. Um, and it's good, but also today I'm more dying than yesterday, and that's really bad. As I mentioned earlier, the reason for that is the house doesn't purge the air. It's the type of thing where I have the AC running, and if I stop the AC and I do wind flow from outside, it's gonna be hotter inside. And if I keep the AC on and I open the windows, then what's the fucking point? So I'm on that negative pressure situation where the AC is struggling because there is no new air coming in that it can use. I don't have a dual hose system, so I don't have a second hose, to be honest, that I could put. That was weird. That I could put on the intake from the outside. This is a thing that a lot of people are doing, so that we don't have negative pressure inside. And and now I'm like, well, tomorrow is supposed to be 36, which is going down from today at 39. And then we're supposed to go to 26 in 2 days, like on Monday or on Sunday. So what's the point of going and buying a hose right now to do the setup thingy? But I might have to, just for the sake of having to do some stuff. But yeah, it's yeah, it is. I have a mobile AC. I have one of these. I have one of these things, which is, you know what? I have this one, even better. Um, and it's fine, but it's not great. God damn. I mean, I am tempted on buying a second one. But I'm also tempted on buying just a true AC system. Like these are 600, 800 bucks depending on where you are and how much they cost and so on. You know, like it really depends. But right now, this one are not delivering to France, so that will never make sense. Nonetheless, um, it's just like, you know, it's eh, it feels like a waste of money, and I could just spend the 3K that would imply having a real AC with an external unit and an internal block, a split thing, and then it would be done. And then next year I would be okay. But I'm also expecting that if I were to do that, the the time I would have to wait to be able to install ACs in-house would be way greater because right now everyone is probably having booked like their renovation companies to just install ACs inside. And also the AC installers people are probably just doing a bit of a markup right now. And yeah, I uh, I don't think this is gonna work. This is so bad though. That's like the worst system that you can have. I mean, it's fine, but it's eh, yeah. The the AC that you have in Germany, you're in Germany, right? I'm not wrong in that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You probably have seen that. That one, you're in the UK. This one is in Germany right now. It's available in Germany. I know that in the UK it's somewhat available, but it is so popular that even on the tweets that I kept for today and other days, um, yeah, like that that guy is absolutely true and correct. Like there is one distributor in France that does this, so no one has access to it. And if you just become a distributor of this thing, you would make a lot of money just by simply having them. The thing is, you can't do that this year. You need to prepare for next year, which means that next year there will be another option. But if like it seems if you're just a distributor of AC units for Europe, you would probably make a lot of money. So that's a thing. The other thing that I've been talking about, but it's like kind of related unrelated. Um, mm, I don't know if there is a fucking E in there. Yeah, there is an E in there. The thing that I want, if someone is listening and has money, please do that. Uh, a lot of the flats in Paris have old chimneys, and officially speaking, legally speaking, we are not supposed to have fire inside. This is not a legal thing. Some people are still doing it, which is not supposed to happen, but whatever. If you build an AC unit that can just slid in these things, like the window units that you have in China and in other part of the world, you would make banks as well because it's like dedicated and almost bespoke to the location. Most of the chimneys um, that exist have a not a standardized size, but kinda. And my AC exhaust, like the odd hair, I put the tube in the chimney. So if you have the money to have a partner in China and build the AC units to size with different regular size or maybe something that is a bit flexible somehow, I don't know. It would make so much more. Specifically because I'm thinking about uh the ceiling AC units like this, like these things. You need to have a compressor condenser things on the outside section, but these sizes thing are already kind of compact enough, and some of them are very tiny, and they are roughly the size of the chimney openings. And I'm almost certain that retrofitting something could work, and it would be amazing. That would change the entire thing. But then again, France is not really happy with the AC system, and I get it. I get it. Like I'm pushing our hair outside, but still, we are all dying. Like we've had 40 deaths since. I mean, the number yesterday was 40 in 3 days. God damn. So yeah, that would be a thing. But yeah, that Midea or Midi, I don't know exactly how to pronounce their name, is very popular right now. The Chinese on Red Note are just talking about it all the time. On Twitter, I'm seeing this all the time as well, and it's crazy how popular it became simply by the fact that it's just instead of having compressor and wall unit, you have compressor and will unit, and that just changed the game for some reason. But then again, the other thing that some people still seem to not take into account, which is weird, it looks good because that system exists. Like there is a lot of other options that are doing the exact same thing, but I'm not willing to buy the other options because I'm a designer. That still hasn't changed. That's I need this thing to look good in my house, and this one is the only one that kind of fits the vibe when I'm not using it. Like if it's not in use, it's gonna be in the corner of the room, so it needs to look like something that kind of fit in. And when you look at um, a split AC mobile system, it's like no, no, it's no, no. That's the only one that looks okay. It's crazy, and that's also one of the reasons that it works. The thing that I also seen, look at that shit. I don't want a Dalek in my home. I mean, I wouldn't mind a Dalek in my home, but I mean, I kind of would. But it still no. But the thing that I've seen though is that these are very popular, and these are the AC units that are for Humvees, vans, and other things. It's, and therefore they are meant to be on like on windows of vans and caravan and so on. So maybe it could work and it's fine. It's meant to be inside, so they have some design options. But then again, because it's for vans and caravans and so on, it's already targeted to a very specific type of people that don't necessarily care about the design of things because they are living in a van, and that's that. Whereas I I'd buy that. Yeah, it's not great, but it's better than the rest. But yeah, like this shit is just looking good, and that pissed me off because my designer brain is just like, well, I don't want something else because that no. Ugh. And then I've seen this. These are have been very popular in China, at least from my point of view, in the social media that I have. The thing that are like just slotting in windows, and then it's just like window units, cutting, and that's good. But in Europe, we don't have sliding down windows, sliding side to side windows. We just have opening up, and that doesn't fit. We can't use this. We don't have anything that just block it for from tumbling open or tumbling down. So that's the sad part. One of the other thing that I've seen, I don't think this is one, but it kind of looks like it. I've seen a ton of people using uh, AI image generation to present. It looks kind of AI generated to present AC systems and how they work. And I don't think that's accurate representation of stuff. Specifically, the one that I've seen on socials are just like kind of not good. But yeah, the current meta is creating or transforming your AC unit into a dual hose unit. So shit like this, and people are just doing that mod by hand. It feels wrong to me, but I get it. But it still feels wrong to me because the intake and the exhaust are so close together. So the exhaust is supposed to be at the top so that, hot hair goes up and then cooler hair goes in. But when outside is like 40 degrees, I don't think this will change anything. Then again, I don't know shit. So maybe, yeah, maybe. Um, but yeah, I like that you have the full name. The full name is crazy. It's yeah. It's cool that outside it just takes the air in and helps air out. Yeah, that's a good thing. But also, Ooh. Again, the reason why I bought mine is because it was the cleanest looking one in the bunch that I had access to. I think I paid 200 bucks more just because it looks better. And it doesn't look good. That's the crazy part. Like it's not it's not the best looking thing, but it's better than the rest. I don't want these. That I don't want it, any of that. I know they have a version that is black, and the black version was like 800 bucks, so I think I didn't buy it for that reason. Um, but still, also, it was at a time where I had a job, so I could just splurge on something, it would be fine. But yeah, no, I guess the best option right now is just contracting like an AC company in 3 to 4 months ish, like when it starts to be kind of colder, and say they don't have markups. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think um the only one that I know is the lonely thing. Also, why you died? Why you died in the middle of something? Um, there is, you know what? Dang. These one here are kind of better looking, kind of, but not really. And that is kind of weird, but still like glossy and whatever. And then they have their latest one that is looking like this, which is very futuristic, and I think visually speaking, it's pretty good. But it is 900 bucks, I think. And yeah, yes, 800 pounds like that's 1,000 bucks. So that's crazy. And there is a black version, so obviously it would work. But goddamn. Uh, still, full names. Yeah, that's the one. But this one is also kind of shiny-ish. Um, at times, but it's the same. One of the things that I don't like about it is that they have this kind of system, and this is good if you put it at your feet on your bed, for example, so that it just blow cold air on top of the bed and it's fine. And that version that is like oscillating at the top is not necessarily as good, but yeah, it's just like they all look like shit. And then you have that. It's just coming up every time, and that's wild. That is wild. The thing that is, I think, from my point of view, the wildest part is that for some reason, and I don't understand why that's the case, every AC unit that I find online on the French retailer, like French websites things, are undeliverable. So no delivery options available for Paris, where I live. If it's somewhere else, we good. But in Paris, that's a no. And I don't understand. I don't understand. I think the one that I have is a reversible thing, so that it has hot or cold. I used to use it in winter as well, so that was like very not power efficient. But yeah, it's you know what? I haven't seen these. You think? You think they have a maybe this one? Yeah, still, these one are kind of in indie, kind of similar. Visually speaking, visually speaking, it is. But goddamn, how much is it though? That's the that's the usual question. Well, apparently UK shopping doesn't work, so we're gonna go on something else. Go back to the previous one that we're on. This is not gonna be a buy now situation. Maybe this one is an option. That is such a copy pasting. It's fine. You know what? You know what? £500. That's fine. And it has my name on it for the financing options. Meh. I maybe if I send them a DM and I said, "Well, you use my name, would you give me a discount code and I can just advertise the website? It's the same name. It makes sense. Maybe sponsorship with AC units." Just for the UK, I guess, because AO is only UK based. Was I only know it the from the UK. I don't know it from anything else. So, eh. But yeah, no, I've been on a rabbit hole yesterday again of well, if I install a real AC, maybe I do renovation on my kitchen at the same time. And if I do renovation in my kitchen at the same time, why not renovate the bathroom as well? You know, so that everything goes through. But yeah, I am more of a Xiaomi uh person, and I love their design for their Xiaomi like AC units because they are simple, like they are very minimalistic, and they have some different colors than just the white one. Obviously, right now I'm not looking at the other colors, but they have like uh, a car brown. You know what I mean? You know that brown, that pretty common brown color for cars. They have one unit that looks like this. I know that they have a, a red wine color as well, or they had at some point, and they look pretty good. And they are cheaper, but then again, it's Xiaomi, so you never know if your thing is gonna be as good, or if the thing is just gonna die fast. It really depends. But they look so much better, and they are connected to your phone and so on, so that makes sense. TCL is also a thing that I wasn't uh, expecting to see as an AC manufacturers. Like I know them for TVs and screens and some phones, but not really for ACs. So I was surprised. Think about, is that the one in question? It doesn't look like that's the one. This is more like a heater type of thing. Wait, yeah. If it's just for the API, I get it. And they have a black version. They have a black version, you know. But yeah, other than that, the other thing is just Mitsubishi, um, which makes sense. No, not dang. And that's just my Japanese side because the one that I had when I was in Japan was a Mitsubishi one, and therefore I trust them. I know that they work. I'm also very uh, like trusty of brands that are coming from countries that have used and installed AC for decades, like Japan, China. They know how to make AC and how they work, and there is no issue. If we had like a brand that is an Italian brand that does AC, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I trust you. I mean, the system is the same. I get it, but like you don't have the experience of living in an environment that requires the AC. It's just like you made an AC because you could. So I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, a pizza oven. That's I would trust it. There is one, by the way. There is that teeny tiny company that is doing a standalone pizza oven thing with the stone inside, and it's pretty good for what it is for at home pizza, and it's Italian, so it makes sense. I'd say yeah. Um, was it Dyson that started the strawberry farm? That's crazy. But yeah, so Mitsubishi is an option. I do think that the other one is Hisense that I see all the times. Um, they have these units that again very much look like um, the Xiaomi one for like double the price of the Xiaomi one. So that's the reason why I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I'm gonna not do that. But they look better, and that's a thing. But also, obviously, Sam, what got in?
Roswell raided my stream with 1 viewers.
Thanks for the raid. I hope you're good. How are you? How's the day going? How is the stream? We're doing some design stuff, and right now we're talking about ACs because I'm melting. But yeah, Stefan, welcome in as well. If you don't know me, I'm AOA. I'm the helping designer. So if you have any design question, as always, feel free to ask. But yeah, it's Friday. It's a review day officially. So if you have a project that you've been working on and you want someone else, designer, to take a look at it and give you some feedbacks on it, feel free to share links and so on. We're always welcome to review things. But right now, we're all melting around here. I don't know exactly if uh, the drop game is here. It is here. You can drop if you want to. It's just not necessarily the most active things. Depending on the day, I'm not gonna make it. Yep, I'm not making it. That's oh, you know what? Maybe I said nothing. Damn, that's a first. It is rigged. My bad. My bad. Uh, I I haven't. You know what? I haven't used it. I think ever. I think ever. Um, we have our own. God damn, that looks clean. Uh, we have our own communities from other Discord servers, and the Claw, which is the stream team that I'm part of, has something in the advertising section where I can see who is currently like live and so on, and that helps me finding new people. But I might take a look at the Pixel Push things. That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. Um, Also, James, based on what we said earlier, I think the reason why most ACs are going to be white and shiny. Shiny, I don't get it. That's why this one is better because it looks matte. Is mostly because most houses' walls are white and kind of not shiny, but like white at least. So, in order to blend in the environment, you want something that is not like white pink. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but it, it, it. But yeah, this one is a interesting design. Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, putting shit on the chimney would be a good idea. Um, so it's a thing. It's a thing. But yeah, still, this bitch is still looking better. I think it's the same thing as the frame TV, like the Samsung frame shit that looks like it's an art piece and you can display an image and you know like it's always on basically, which is really a bad idea. But it's I think that's basically the thing that could be a good option, having some arts or some furniture that also combine as an AC. Like if you had um an IKEA thing like that bitch. This is not IKEA, but like this thing at the bottom of the of behind me, and then the top section is just an blowing hair AC unit type of thing, but the bottom is storage. Maybe it could work. Maybe that could be a thing. But then you need to, you know, really like the look of these furnitures, and I don't know if that's that the thing is. So today you were making your bot goal bar that can be tied to Twitch own platform goals. That's pretty cool. Is it like I mean obviously it is like that, but what do you have in the bot? Like what is do you have a website for the bot in question? A place where I can take a look? Um but yeah, a unit like this? Think about it. Think about it. You have a unit like this. Yeah, links are permitted. I am free for all. You can share whatever. The thing is, if you're a dick and you share some porn and other things, it's just gonna block you. But it's fine. You can share links. Shit like this would be amazing, you know? Like if you had one side that is just storage and the other side that is just AC, and when you need the AC, you just open it up and it it creates a like cold air at the bottom of the flat, and then it would kind of take over. That could be an option. Ah, there is a business in there. There's a business option. Um, yeah, I see. So it's a classic uh, progress, goals, and so on. That's pretty cool. I guess for your um, follower count, sub count, and so on, that could work. They damn. I'm gonna say something. You're a dev. I can tell. This is very much using the default browser presentation thing. And I always say that to any dev that comes in that are obviously devs. That's good. That's like you want your project to be usable and working before taking any time into the design section, because the design part is good. It's good to have something that looks better. I have my own, which is, obviously a lot different when it comes to like how things look and the previews and so on. But all of that is just there because it makes sense to me, and it's easier to manage for myself than other things. But other than that, it doesn't make any sense to have something that is designed from the get-go. So I get it. You don't need all that. But still, once you have the functionality that works, that's the thing. Then you can make it a bit better. And the good thing with these is that since you're using the native components and the native browser-based components and elements, you can simply just say, let's add base UI on top of this, or let's add the basic Shadcn thing. Base UI is going to be useful because it's roughly the same semantic, kind of, and it's just going to be styled automatically, and you don't have to do anything. Everything is going to work the same way. It's just like, oh well, now we're gonna use that CSS properties from everything else. So yeah, Phils, welcome on in. Welcome back. How are you? How's the melting today? Are you still melting as well? How's the melting at work? That's also a question that I had for you. is the work melting too, or do you have the AC at work and therefore you rather go there? Okay, also understand. Okay, good. The bakery that I go to, one of them has an amazing AC, so I stay there and we chat for hours. And then the other one, I like the staff a tad, and therefore I stay there, but their AC is just like so bad. And basically their front window is just glass. It's a big ass pan of glass. and it's just take the sun from like 10 a.m. to 16, 17-ish. So all day they are just like blasted with sun, and the AC unit is just can't work. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. But yeah. Other than that, that's cool that you have your own stuff. As we've seen in the past, like 2 months, I think. There was this issue with Stream Elements kind of dying and not being able to provide things and so on. And therefore, a lot of people have been creating other widgets and overlays and event supported system. And so having your own, meaning that you are not dependent on one of the platforms like Stream Element, and that's really good. The reason why I built my own was basically the same thing. I wanted some stuff that were not necessarily as easy to create. And yeah, that's just made more sense. So building your own is a really cool idea. I see. That's cool. I would check everything that it does, but yeah, that's a nice thing. That is a nice thing. Yes, I can do a recap of yesterday's config session. If you're from Figma, please go the fuck away. I'm gonna trash the config. If you're not from Figma, please stay. It's gonna be fine. They had too many scripted jokes, and they were all reading the script almost, and so they were reading the jokes, expecting them to land. And as always, when the specific people that are doing this on config floor, the crowd is just silent, and it's the cringiest thing and the most awkward silence that we are listening to. And it's just, you see them like in the script there is a pause, and you can tell that there is a pause in the script because the mic is going outside of the mouse, and they are kind of waiting for the claps or waiting for the reaction of the audience. And there is not oh my god. Bad cop, what morning? So how are you? How have you been? So that was one of the big part of config yesterday. They have announced shaders. So we have now the ability to create shaders inside of Figma. The main issue that we have with shaders in Figma, and the reason why the title of the stream is shader maxing, is because the joke was shader maxing on the Figma floor, and it's just like it didn't land either. So we had to use the word today. So you can create shaders directly inside of Figma. However, you can only create shaders through the AI agent inside of Figma, meaning that it will cost you AI credits. And based on the amount of complexity that a shader can be, it will cost you a ton of AI credits. So right now it's free because it's still in beta. So as long as you have access to a Figma seat, just burn through the free credits as much as you can, because once you have created a shader, you can reuse it other ways, like in other platforms and other files, but you can't really export it. So that's the thing. But that's one of the things. They have integrated Figma Weavy or Figma Weave inside of the Figma file. So now, apparently, if I understood correctly, you have the ability to create a weave generation node system within your design file, which is much better and much more appreciated. They have announced a new thing that is called code block or code frames, which basically allow you to display live code within your Figma file. So this is good. I have heard of it, but I haven't heard or seen any of these clips. So the code frames are something interesting. The main reason why it's interesting is because it is somehow pulling from GitHub. So if you have a repo that is live and that you can just pull, it will just display, god dang, it will just display the content properly on a frame or code frame, and that is pretty good. You can instantly have a preview of the edited code, and then you have, damn, twice in a row. That's crazy. Also, 6660 is really perfect numbers. It is rigged today. It is absolutely rigged today. So that code block is a pretty interesting thing. I do like it. It's live code, so that's neat. And it is also based on what they have explained. I think you're gonna just make it. Or are you just gonna bounce and slide? Yeah. So sad. So sad. It is absolutely rigged today. So one of the things is that they are saying that since they now have the AI agents inside of the Figma file, and now will have the code frames inside of your Figma file, you can ask the agents to make some modification based on the modification that you do in the design. So that's an interesting thing. In the demo, they had done something that was basically saying you can record a session, and the agent is gonna be smart enough to figure out that you are switching from page A to page B to page C, and then implement design in the Figma file that you can then modify. And then from the modification that you've done, you can ask the agents to apply said modifications from the design to the code. So it's a bit of a weird thing, but it kind of works. And in the overall output thing that we have, I think it's a pretty good thing. Do we have the live stream happening there? We do not. God damn it. So in the thing in question, right about there, that guy, Nico, the best presenter that we have seen for the entire thing. But basically, they are showcasing everything that we are talking about in code and so on, presenting the AI agents, presenting the fact that you can have code frames, and doing some changes live based on these are code frames. So that's I think that's the most important one. However, this is the only one that is not available yet. It's going to be available, but it's not available yet. So that's the thing. But all of that is coming from a code base that is either running on GitHub or running locally. So I don't know exactly which one it is, but it's there. It's pretty cool. And also that segment that I was, like that thing, he made a joke, and the joke landed, and that's a good thing. It wasn't as scripted as the other ones. But he can make this section, which I think is the most interesting thing. They have a record button that is now in the corner that will allow you to go through like all the pages and then record said pages and export said things. So he went through all of that and then have all of the variations, all of the stuff that are just pretty good. So that's a good thing. but you know, it's one of the features they have. And I don't like it, but they still have announced it. So they have announced shaders finally. Um, and in congrats, I'm easy work on it. Today is the day. Indeed, today is the day. Um, they have announced shaders, so we now have the ability to create shaders within the Figma file, which is pretty cool. The thing is, it's only through the AI agents, and you can't really export them or use them anywhere, like in any way that makes sense. So from Badcop, from what you said earlier, you can't really write your own, and you can't go in the code of the shader and tweak the shader in question. So that just pisses me off. It makes absolutely no sense. And that presentation right there is also the thing that I was talking about a second ago, which makes no sense. And it's and uh it shouldn't work this way, but I understand why it does. So basically what happened during the demo is that he did some changes to that frame and that frame, and then said um, update make based on the change that happened. So basically it has recorded all of the design changes that have happened in the design itself based on when it was extracted from the code base. And then now the agent is going to apply said changes that have been designed into the code. That makes no sense. This is a process and a system that just doesn't work in my head. I don't think it should be a thing, but it is a thing. So, there's that. On top of that, we've had other things like shaders, which is the thing that they are talking about here. And weave is the image generation thing. I kind of want to glance over it because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But this is one of the announcements that I talked about earlier. And then they also have, I should go with the Scrabble instead. Yeah, I know. It's I same. Absolutely same. So these two are the one that were just reading the prompt. And last year, Roji was reading the prompt. And the year before, Roji was reading the prompt. And it's just, oh, it's so fake. And it's, I don't know. There is it's a convention. It's an event. It's a conference. You need to have some energy or some humanism, some humanity in your speech in order to be taken seriously. And you can see that he's reading the prompt that is in front of him. Like these boxes is the thing that he is reading, and you can tell it's that. Anyways, uh, so in the in one of the new announcement as well, there is again another AI thing, which is make plugin. So if you need a plugin for something, you can, instead of doing the regular thing that you've been doing for the past 6 years, of opening the plugin tab and looking for a plugin from the community, you can ask the AI to build a plugin for you. And right there, they have a waveform for like a voice recorder. And they said, make me a plugin to do randomized waveform line things, which if you just clicked on that button and typed waveform, there is a plugin that already exists that creates a waveform for you, which is basically what the AI has generated. But now you've burned through AI tokens and credits, which are extremely expensive on Figma side. So it makes a lot of sense for, makes a lot of sense for them to just push that thing, but it's useless. So they've been saying that, which is pretty cool as a simple concept. I have tried it earlier today and yesterday, and it's have a good rest of your day. Thanks a lot for the raid. I appreciate it. take care of yourself, and we'll see you another time. Enjoy work. Enjoy the work. Have a good night, I guess, from Australia. So, damn. Basically, what I'm saying is that when I tried, also, goddamn it, why was that automated? I don't know. When I tried to do the plugin that I want to have since, I don't know, 15 days ago, not 15 days ago, 6 years ago, when I started using Figma, it still cannot do the thing in question, so that's not going to be an option, at least not for me, but it is part of the options. So yeah, I will take that into the review in a second. See, you land, I land. That's crazy. I didn't land good enough, but I did still land, which is something. I mean, if you land, it happens. I don't know. God damn, that was close. It was a close tree. So, anyways, so that plugin thing is good, but also not as good. It doesn't do everything, and it pisses me off because in the beginning of the conference they said the most generic thing of if you can think about it, you can make it type of thing. Yeah, that's in the code, but you were not supposed to see that. So that's the thing. And then they have created some plugins like the mood bulb generator, which is just taking images and creating a mood bulb bento grid that is good. This is a plugin that already exists. And they've been doing a ton of things like this. This one was interesting for the racetrack visualizer thing, which is pulling from real data and presenting the UI and the things properly. So that's a good use case with specific implementation of real data that you can use. But other than that, yeah. Do they have a button that just turns the design into a real app with API yet? Kinda, yeah. Yeah. Basically, they do. With Figma Make, it kinda is the case. And with that latest implementation of the thing, it does. It is. It is that. It is exactly that. We back though. We back. Just we good. Everything is fine. Nothing happened. Everything happened. So so with that, the plugin generation is an interesting feature, but I don't know if it's going to be a very good feature on its own. But we'll see. They have created this one, which is generating have a good coffee time, which is generating images. So they are using them image generation system as well on top of existing content. So it's a bit of a bundle of everything at once, which is fine. But again, their goal here is to make you burn through AI credits as fast as you can. And the shader thing that they have created, implemented things, whatever, is only available through the AI agents. So that pisses me off. And one thing that was kind of fun, because obviously I like that. Beginning of the presentation of shaders, they are using this presentation thing with that image and one-shotted a shader. Hear me out. And they said, we'll let the agent work while we move on to the next section. So they moved into the next section and then they went back to this at the end. And instead of showcasing what the agent had created with the one shot, he really conveniently clicked on the one that was updated 2 days ago. Just like that, like in the list, you just pick the second one that was like updated 2 days ago, and it wasn't anywhere close to what he had asked in the first one. So again, presentation things that don't make any sense. But there is a ton of things in there that are. I will take a look. I will take a look at that as well. I think there is something to be done with shaders generation. It's just that the presentation was really bad. That thing right here was just, oh, let's make the presentation or let's make that shader really bad and then move on to the next one before you realize that it's really bad, which is basically what happened. Showcasing other things like mesh gradient, which is a good thing. This is a pretty neat system, and mesh gradients is a thing that we have in SwiftUI that we do like to use, but it's still not something that is native and common on the web. So not necessarily the best of presentation. And then they have presented this thing, which is potentially the only shader that I think makes sense, which is a lens distortion effect. So if you have a carousel and you want it to look like 3D rotation thing, you can do that, and that's cool. But that's it. That's the only thing. This one here is because they just love that chromatic aberration lens distortion thing. The presentation on its own is really good. And because it's a video, it works on videos and you can move things while the video is playing. So that's a good thing. Anyways, I'm taking way too much time on explaining what has been updated and announced. So there is this with shaders and shit. After that, after the whole shader things, we will have to talk about that section here, which is what I've been talking about for the past, I feel like 2 years now. But Modify has been acquired by Figma in 2024, announced in 2025, and Modify is a shader-based system, and that's the reason why we now have them in Figma. They've been using their tech since Liquid Glass was announced in 2025, but they haven't disclosed that that was the tech. So that's the thing. But with Modify coming in, being a shader-based system, but also an animation-based system, they announced the fact that from there, we now have the ability to just create animation through Figma files. So they added one more thing, if I can just zoom in on that. So you currently have design, draw, and dev, and now you also have animation. So we have something that is really good, which is an animation timeline directly in the design Canva, which contains things that looks familiar enough, but are kind of complex if you don't know how After Effects works. If you have heard and used Jitter and other online animation tools, it's basically the same thing, but they are basically just implementing what Modify used to have with animation, and they made a pretty good job. It's good, but then again, guess what? The agent can do the animation for you. So obviously they want you to use the AI tokens again and burn through everything by creating animation through that. So that's it's simple. If I just show you quickly what I have made as a very, very, very simple thing, that animation right there is just very basic. The eyes of the cat at the end is not necessarily what I wanted to do, but it's just what I come up with. But by having the ability to do that, this is pretty cool. And we end up with something that is really neat. And then, yes, finally, we have the ability to export this in terms of like export as a as a static things, or if it's an animation, export as an MP4, or export as an SVG, like animated SVG, WebM, and so on. But also, as they mentioned, because you didn't see the cat, you don't see the cat. No. Yeah, no, I know. I think the cat version was best. Where is it? Where's my cat version? God damn it. This one. This one would have been like more noticeable, I think, because it's winking at you, so you're like, what the fuck is this shit? But yeah. So exporting as a animated AG is an option as well. The thing that I have in there is that there is a lot of issues in the potential of the animation. In order to make that like writing system to work, I had to resplit the entire thing, basically. So the SO is one path, the CI is one path, the AL is one path, and then the dots are three different paths. So it's a lot of hoops that you need to go through to achieve the thing that you wanted to achieve compared to what you would have had in I guess in After Effects, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool. So that's the thing that they have announced, which I think is pretty good. You can export that, as I mentioned, as a video. You can export that as an animated SVG, and you can export that in code. Because once you have this, which is an animation, and you go into the dev mode version of this thing, you will have the animation JSON export things with the 5 layers in question, the timeline, the contents, what needs to happen, and so on. So that is, for my point of view, the best thing that has been announced, because it is ensuring that as soon as the devs get like the correct content and export the right things, then they have access to something that is very powerful, I guess. And I think this is pretty good. So that's the thing. I still need to explore on how I can like get some masking working at the same time, and so on. So far, I don't know, but I will take the time at some point to do so, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. So that is one of the biggest announcement, I would say, which is a positive announcement for once. Other than that, they have presented like other things. The fact that you can use the agent again to have some animations that just feels more natural. They have mentioned a ton of things with the curve of the animations that you can manually change, which you could already do before. And then after that, they have announced this as something that will come later, which is 3D transform. So we don't have 3D transform currently in Figma, but now with the latest version of the animation, they are implementing something that is 3D transform based on the canvas. So that's a pretty cool thing, because we don't need like all of the other things. So we will have, or plugin that we currently use. So we will have like 3D-ish animation on the Canva, which is pretty nice. Again, as I mentioned, this is just Figma catching up with CSS features that has been available for decades, and they just figured out how to put them in the fucking thing. So it took them a while, but now it's there, and I'm not mad about it. So this is pretty cool. And as they mentioned, you can animate through shaders as well. They have created things like this motion animation for Path, which is the same thing that I've done. But on top of that, they have added some distortions and other more natural effects to the path itself, so that it just looks more clean. So that's the thing. And then the shaders can go on top and so on. So I guess that's the main point. After that, we have, I think, the closing thoughts from um, yeah, from that thing. But it's just same thing. It's the most inhuman and cringy presentation because Zoink is just like not Dylan is not the most uh, outspoken, very introverted, which is kind of, I mean, you can tell, which is fine. It happens. But they have done a very good job at presenting the thing that they have and the integrations that they have with their AI agents and their additional things is pretty good. They still haven't done the thing that we have been requesting, which is having other sizing methods, like not just pixels, maybe REMs, EMs, percentage could be amazing, but that's still not an option. And that's about it for the thing that they have announced. There is probably other things that have been unannounced, but still available. So things like quality of life improvements and teeny tiny changes. The outcome and the takeaway that I have from the entirety of this 1 hour fucking presentation thing that they have done is, which if you want to watch it, rewatch that, is just use our AI tokens, please. I beg you. And as always, like every config where they are announcing new stuff, they make the AI tokens free until it comes out of beta. So if you were thinking about creating shaders within Figma, do that now and do as many teeny tiny ID that you can have. Like just export all of your shaders because right now it's free. And in about, I think 6 months to, yeah, I guess 6 months. They usually just at the next config they pulled the previous beta things out of beta. So since they have another one in October, that's not 6 months. That's 4 months. Then yeah, just burn through the tokens right now, please, please. It's gonna be useful. It's gonna be good. Before they just pull it out, and then you're gonna have to pay, and it's gonna be way too expensive, and therefore you're gonna never use that feature again. So just do it now. But from the other thing that they have done with the new Figma agent and Figma MCP things and so on, they have made integrations which I think are good, aka these ones right there. So if you are someone that is using Slack or Notion or other things, you now have direct integration with the Figma agent and your platforms. So specifically Atlassian, which is in big companies, a lot of people are still using Jira and the other bitches from them, which, it happens. The fact that you can pull a ticket from Jira with the AI agents and then apply the changes through the agent is pretty good. But again, it costs money. In a paid seat, you get 300 credits per month. As I mentioned, I burned through 300 credits in about a day and a half. So there's that. So be aware. But that's the recap. I'm guessing there is a lot of other things. There is probably also a lot of other talks that have been happening that I haven't watched. There is all of the small, God damn it. There's all of the other small, teeny tiny videos that they are presenting for just a recap. So if you just want not me to talk about it, but just, showcasing things. This is good. They have an 8-minute videos on how to learn Figma Motion, which is fine, but yeah. Stony, welcome on in. Goddamn, 310. Goddamn. Holy shit. I hope you're good. Welcome back. Um, so that's a good thing. And so from there, we have some animations and some things, which is, it's fine. I need to watch these two things to understand what the fuck they're talking about. And they will have like other videos popping off for today, I think, or yesterday. The talks from yesterday that needs to go into here. So that's the thing. But yeah, other than that, that's about it. I don't like the fact that shaders are behind the AI agents only, and I wish, it wasn't. Um, Bad cop, explain. These are just formulas, like mathematical formulas that are creating the shaders. Is that what it is? Doom scrolling for shaders? I see. Is it generated or is it you have done things like it just generates shaders based on formulas that it like auto? Yeah, I mean, even AI would be fine. What I mean by generated is just like, are these, they are not in any way, shape, or form controlled by mouse positioning, or are they? They are not, right? Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's a pretty cool concept. Specifically, again, if you're someone that is building shaders and you don't know exactly what you are looking for, you can just doom scroll this and see an effect that just like maybe you liked one of these things and you want to recreate that in one of your shaders. That's the thing. The That's cool. I think design wise, you could do better. Mm. But I guess for now, that's fine. The main point is just like making sure that the formula is much better presented. But yeah, um, please ask the question. This one's cool. I think I've seen the guy that is advertising on Twitter on this. Yeah, I've seen this card before, but yeah, I haven't. Uh, well, I don't know. Um, you're welcome. Uh, eh, I'm conflicted about the commenting things because it feels like that implies accounts or that implies more data to store. And then how does creator or user know if um, if they receive if at some point you want to create a way to have like other people create shaders and showcase shaders, which would be cool. Um, eh, how do you know that you have received a comment and so on? Therefore, you would need accounts and management for user data and so on. So I don't know. Um, but other than that, yeah, and work on it. I am melting. My Mac is melting, which is the thing that pisses me off the most. Is like I can cook an egg on the Mac, that is for sure. I have the portable fan that is supposed to be for me under the Mac to blow air to the backside just in case. But the issue is that the keyboard is already so hot. So I can't cool it down. It yeah, it's not good. Um so yeah, like dislike is an option, but I don't know if this would make any sense. Um in terms of like if you want to do a TikTok like thing, yes, add a like a double tap to like, and that's it. A dislike not necessarily a thing that you want to have because whatever. I guess what would make this more interesting, more complex, um, but more interesting is tweaks. If you had the ability to say tweak this shader, and then you show a panel that contains the variables that are basically impacted by this formula, and then I can change the speed, change the velocity, change the amplitude, change the like things like this. That would be a very much more interesting thing. However, again, if you want a shader uh TikTok thing, it's gonna be like mobile version E. So your tweaks are gonna be something at the bottom, like the keyboard kind of thing. So you need to think about that in terms of sizes. But if you just want to have them in a yeah, you could. You could. But still, like I mean, how much slightly mutation or what would be a slight mutation and what would its mutate? Like, is it just speed? Is it something else? I don't really know. So that's the thing that I would potentially change. The other thing that I'm seeing here, and like the main point is that everything is very much too fast from my taste. So I would change that. But um shit like shaders GPT, which is a shader option, you can see how they are presenting the shader in a full screen manner with the code underneath, and then you can change the code if you wanted to. That is an interesting system, and I feel like if you had access to something similar to this, that might help, that might be good, that you know might be an option. Um, but for you, it's just like swipe up, and it's fine. But yeah, if it's just mobile, then swiping up, at least making them things full screen would help. Um, so like making sure that this thing is not that. um, like your width and height, which are specific or specified here. That's I don't know if I can do that. Does that work? It does work. Sorry. That's because you have a situation. But yeah, no, making it at least a full size element would be pretty accurate and pretty good. More fun, making it small, not smaller, but like slower. Slower would be good. And if you think about mobile only, then what I'm about to say is probably not an option. But for example, this one is pretty cool. I feel like this is the color is nice. The animation is very glitchy. I like that. I could reuse that. And interesting. But I would love to be able to just say, oh, I like this. Let me just copy paste that into my code base. So I have the snippet of code that is related to the shader in question, and then have the ability to just get it somewhere else. And I feel like this is a potentially good thing. All right. And the shader is in there. That's what you're saying. But yeah, it's a lot of flashing. That's the reason why I'm saying maybe the speed, like the speed of this one is good. Like it's a nice slow enough speed that I can see thing. This is a bit epilepsy triggering at times, so that's one of the reasons I would recommend to have some things that are at least like kind of yeah. Um, maybe you can have a time clamp of max time, min time somewhere, and your minimum time value is like slower than the maximum that you currently have, which is, I'm guessing, roughly close to 0. So ensuring that like minimum time is 420 millisecond, still fast, but potentially enough to create a thing. I don't know. But as a concept, I think this is pretty cool. I would just have a full screen thing and a better representation of the formula, if the formula is something. This one is really cool. But that's about it. Double tap to like make sense. I guess the formula representation is the most complex part because you need to render it in a way that makes sense to users, and formula don't necessarily make sense to users. So that's the thing. I do think that tweaks would be a very good addition to the system. With simple like, what are the main like core variables like X, Y, time, probably color in there, like the color variations exist, and letting the user just have with small sliders tweak that value a little bit could be interesting. But yeah, no, this is cool. This is cool. It's just like the mobile version and the mobile view is complex, and then the usage and the use case or the usefulness of this is probably going to be something along the line of I like what I see, let me put it somewhere when it makes sense. And if you're on your phone and you're scrolling through, then that well, congrats. Don't say it's too loud. Yeah. I don't know about the usage on mobile. That's the only thing that I'm like, eesh. It feels like a mobile might just be visual based, and then the web version has more controls, more copy pasting, more tweaking options. But mobile is just like consumption, consuming and scrolling through. So yeah. Yeah, if it's a fun toy, it's good. But it's just like it creates cool stuff that I can see myself reuse or use. So like this is a very cool generation of an audio rendering. And so if I just see this, obviously designer, so it triggers an ID. and I'm like, oh, let's use that shaders on top of our player thing so that it glitch when we are entering specific types of music, for example. Why not? Why not? Um, I can't match the. Yeah, I can't match the scroll. Almost. That's gonna be complicated. This is cool. So yeah, so for discovery, I think for discovery this is really good. For consumption, it might not be the most interesting thing, but it's fun. For generation, ah, a bit more complex to justify, but it's a cool concept. And if you decide to have users and so on, I feel like a like or save would be useful. And even if it's not like user based, if you have local storage saving of just like the ID of the shader, that could be good. Specifically on desktop, I would love to see uh, the code, because sending that to Shader Toys would be interesting as well if it has like a bit more than just the formula. Um, but yeah, saving for later, experimenting with some changes. This is a very VCR TV effect shader type of thing. And so if you add that formula on top of an OBS shader, for example, this is really cool, with a bit of a distortion and a bit of a translation as well in whilst moving up. This is really nice. So I would double tap and or bookmark and or do something about it, for sure. So yeah, no, this is cool. Full screen, full screen. Full screen shaders is going to be the thing that I think about. I don't know if you did that for performance reasons. Maybe you did. Maybe you did. But yeah. And this is pretty good. In what I'm about to say is pretty is gonna be related kind of. Um I'm not that hyped by Figma shaders thing, because first of all, it's just using the AI credits. So if you don't have credits, you can't create shaders. That pisses me off. But also, I don't know what to do with shaders. I have a feeling that 99% of the shaders are the same. And from everything that we've seen so far, they are mostly very, very much similar in terms of diagonals is roughly the same every time. The effect is either linear or linear, and then it's just like a distortion and a displacement of the pixels here and there, which is the principle of shaders. But they look similar enough so that they are cohesive in what you are seeing. And what we see in shaders in Figma is like lens distortion, dithering. So this is mostly dithering type of thing, um, and an ASCII creation and so on. But I don't have the brain power to think about what you can do in a shader that I would need. But I'm probably just unaware, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. There is a weird feeling about it in my head with I same thing. I don't necessarily see the point of shaders that are doing the entire thing. So this is, to me, this is not a shader. This is a 3D rendering through like P5.js. that's that's what it is. Same thing here. And I know you can do anything, but it's just like most shaders that I'm seeing is this, like these particle things, these effects. And it's, again, it's fine. It's great to see, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I have the brain power to figure it out. Like this one is the one that we are seeing most of the times, at least from my point of view. And it's so good, it's gonna turn the stream into a slideshow. So I'm gonna go the fuck away. You know, like that's what it is. But yeah, no, overall, I don't know. Not to work on it. Yeah. So other than that, I don't know. I have a bit of a hard time figuring out exactly what I want to do with shaders. That's the thing. I can't wrap my head around the actual outputs. As in, like creating a shader that does this effect in the background, for example, with the drops with fade and then some grain, is such a common thing that I don't know if it would make sense for me to generate with an AI agent, because I'm almost certain that this already exists in ways that is not like a necessity for me to generate. Again, my point is not what's the point of shaders. My point is I don't know what I would do with generating the shaders through the Figma agents, because I feel like it's a waste of token and it's a waste of resource, and probably most of the shaders that I have in mind are already available somewhere else that I can just use, and that would make a lot more sense than generating them. That's the point that I want to make, not the point of shaders. Shaders make sense, yes. But you know, I've seen that really quickly. I don't see the point of the generation. So there's that. There is that. Let me just be safe. And feels, that thing is goddamn. That thing is wild. I don't know yet. So far, we only know that the shaders needs to be generated through the AI agents, and you don't have any other option to do anything about it. And Fizz is probably taking a shower right now, which is the current time. Time in shower. That's the time in question. That's an interesting system. That is very dated, design wise. God damn. I'll change that. Already did. Goddamn. Goddamn. Yeah, I guess that it's very. Again, I'm going back to the thing that I said earlier. I'm old now. That's it. Um, like it's I don't see the usage and it's is the output realistic? How do I change that? What is the model that is used? I'm guessing it's somewhere around here, and it's probably in the settings as well. But yeah, um, I didn't think shit. I don't know what I need to do, which is, I guess that's the biggest part here. I don't know. Yeah, I would love to see what is uh, currently happening. That's the important part. I'm guessing these are somehow the models in question, I guess, even though they are called checkpoints. Um, oh, I see that now. God dang. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Um, it's not. It's not good whatsoever. And also, it didn't understand um, what I meant. But it has a bit of depth in terms of the legs are less sharp than this, which is good. I said a frog behind frosted glass, and it understood frosted as frozen glass. So this is like frost as in cold glass. The goal was to have um, the frosted glass thing, like the frosted effect. But yeah, I'm guessing if I knew, again, this is the type of shit that I'm old is the reason why I said that earlier. I don't really understand any of the settings, and it feels too complex to figure out in a way. Like it works in my head when I'm going to Gemini thing and I say, let's build something that looks like this. And that's all I do. I don't need to toggle anything. Um, but yeah, I see. If that works, if you have like an API endpoint thing where you can just run through stuff, that is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I don't know if are these the models in question, or are these just the styling? I guess realistic vision is potentially something that is better. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I think I've seen other similar thing popping off. But that's cool. The fact that it's just like running locally, that is a nice option. And the room, more coming in. Today has been a landing day, so I don't know. I don't know. God damn, that was so close. Yeah. Damn. I am delayed on my end, so I don't see the thing on. Yeah, I'm not making it this time. God damn it. God damn it. That's cool. It's an interesting thing. I my brain is telling me a lot of things. Uh, I have, I think, I have a set of illustrations from a while ago. I think they are isometric buildings. You know what? I should just search. Yeah, right there. And that's basically the thing that it reminded me of. And these ones are just like black and white, simple buildings and so on. But it's basically inspired of on that isometric system, which is it's fine. You know, it happens. Um, but I see that and I'm like, does it make sense to generate them, or can I just get the set and then be done with it? But again, this is $40 and the generation is probably going to be roughly free. So, you know, I get it. I get it. It makes sense. It makes sense. It's just like they look kind of similar to some of the things that I already have seen. And that's something. But also, I'm seeing how interestingly consistent still. And I'm pretty impressed with that. Like, there is no glitched window sizes. There is no like inconsistent window sizes in between buildings themselves. So there is consistency across thing, and that's pretty cool. This one is the image generation. So the previous one were Blender, and then you use the Blender assets as references so that you can then generate images based on that. I see. I guess. I think that yes is yes, number two. Cool. Okay. So these are the image generation, and the consistency is a bit different, but it makes sense as well. But there is not a lot of artifact as far as I can tell either. Again, these things are very tiny, but still, that makes sense. That's cool. If it works, I get it. I understand. I understand. Yeah, that's what I need to check. Um, Anyways, back to the AI agent thingy. Pisses me off. Um, I tried again to work on this thing, still not working. I did another variation of it. Um, and right now it's just not working as intended. And basically, if you want to have like the target stuff, you need to go into your asset panel, add the fucking thing that you wanted to use, and then drop any of the components from that library to here so that it can then be visible there. And the issue that I see is that it currently is only detecting components and not libraries on their own. So that's a bad thing. But that whole system is working and it's free. So if you want to build things through this system for free for now. It's going to be pretty cool. And from my point of view, I don't know if I can have that. Uh, I don't know if that still exists. Uh, some of the some of the thing that I used to have in the NFT era and so on are shit like this. And this is probably some sort of shaders, probably some sort of mixed shaders slash 3D generation slash other things. And it's just good. And I would love to have shaders on website that have that vibe behind them. And I could potentially just generate something by using that image as a base and then sending that to the Figma agent. But also, it feels kind of weird. Like I'm not saying that this is like ownership and so on. I own these things. These are mine and linked to my account. I just don't have access to my account, so it's kind of complicated to prove that they are mine. But they are really cool. But same thing. Like it's the type of shaders that I could see myself implementing, and then that bad cop is similar to what you have in a way. Um, yeah, Unicorn Studio is great. It just pisses me off with what they have decided to do lately. Because as always, I discovered the platform when they launched. I went there, I did the thing that I wanted to do to check it out and so on. And then every time there was an update, I was checking the update and such. But then one of the update was just okay, cool. So now it's gonna be paid, which makes sense. You know, it's just it makes sense. I get it. But you can't export anything anymore. You can't create a new file anymore because you already have reached your limit of the free tier, and it's just like it's a pain in the ass. Lone Traveler, hi, what morning? This is my my NFT collection. This is all the NFT that I have spent money on back in 2021, I guess. And there was a lot of people that have uh, done some really cool glitch and shader things. And I love most of the things that they had. We used a lot of these things on the stream overlay when I was starting streaming because this is cool. It looks good. And then some of them are just illustrations, you know, and so on. Yeah, the fact that Unicorn Studio changed into the paid system is now pissing me off. Specifically, if you are like an OG first people that coming in, have a good rest of your day. Take care of yourself. Don't die. Hydrate, and so on. But thanks all for being here. I appreciate it. Like all of that makes sense to me. Again, NFT things. No one understand what it is, and that's why it didn't work. So it's the activities, it's the thing. Anywho, what I was saying about Unicorn Studio is, in my eyes, you should have, as a company, you should have said something along the line of, okay, you are an OG on the platform, you are the reason why the platform is successful. Therefore, we are giving you a discount, we are giving you a pass, we are allowing you to do things that other people can't do just because you've been like user number 2000, for example. Like the first, I don't know, 10,000 users on the platform are just getting things for free just because you know you believed in the platform and therefore you probably talked about it, showcased stuff, and you are the reason why we are now able to grow and have more stuff. But no, they decided to say now everyone needs to pay $14 a month just for exporting. And yeah, fuck off. Like if you just want to copy paste a link from Unicorn Studio shaders, or Unicorn Studio file, you need to use one of your credits for export for free exports. And I think you have 5 or 14. Big range, I know, but I don't remember exactly how much it is. But yeah, like that makes no sense to me. So I feel like OG should have had at least unlimited exports if they wanted to. But nonetheless, back to the shaders. These are really cool. We do like them. And then back to the NFT things. What people didn't understand and still don't, by the way, is the fact that the NFT is not this. The NFT is a receipt that I have. So if you bought something on Amazon and you received an email that said, "Congrats on buying this thing," that's an NFT. It is. And the main difference is that the NFT that we were talking about in 2020 were just on a different layer of the internet. But that's it. And therefore, it was different, but it's the exact same thing. And people just use them for images. And now that's it. People just see the NFT. And when you talk about NFT, it's just like, well, it's just pictures of monkey. And, you know, that's not true. So, yeah. Can we copy paste the specific shaders? Not really. I think these ones that we have from Nuke Hype are not like the easiest thing to do, but I'm thinking that if you wanted to have like, let's do this as a as an option. I'm just going to put an image on this thing so that we have an image somewhere. Um, and let's use whatever the fuck we have. Yeah, let's use that. Fun. Fun. We don't care. It doesn't really matter. And then from there, we're going to create a shader. So we want to... I feel that if I click, it's going to start. So I'm just going to paste this. We'll see if that works. But that's basically the only thing that you can do with the shader agents thing. The image that I pasted is officially a GIF, and therefore I don't know how it's going to be able to interpret and read and see the entire thing. So, a GIF, yeah, it's a GIF. But we'll see if that is an option. At least it can see that it's a striking digital glitch CRT effect. So that's neat. Can I say all of it? Which parameter would you like in the settings? I wanna say all of it. I shut the fuck up. Just no. Give me everything. Yeah, I know. But it's like makes no sense. At least, it's gonna give me everything, and then I'm just gonna say now I need controls for everything. So copy pasting these ones, not really. I feel like if I contacted Nuke, maybe they could give me something as an option. They have been doing some incredible work, and they haven't like really posted, I think, in a long time, but they've done some very cool things in the glitchy series that I like a lot. But yeah, oh, that's an interesting thing. I just triggered the Apple Assistant. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily a good thing, but it's interesting. The fact that the CRT glitch is on top is such a weird system. God damn it. Yeah. I mean, that's the plan. Right. Controls on all. I feel like right now the thing is it's gonna need to get into a lot of the overlay effect and or like different variations that it just go through. That's probably gonna be the main case. But then again, from this thing, from the fact that I have this now and it's currently in my created by me system, this is officially, I think, in my assets, but I don't have the ability to get the content in it. I can only get the edit that is going to go through the AI chat, which makes no sense. And it makes sense from a Figma point of view. Why is this thing not? I mean, it is, but it's not. It's blowing hair, but not good enough. I don't know if you can't share the shader. I don't think you can share the shader itself, but I think you can share the file that contains the shader. I think that's what we can do. Interesting distortion. Let me go back into normal so that we can have a bit of a better thing. I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if I like it. Yeah, I guess the reason for this being very far is mainly because it has, or it was, a GIF, and it wasn't seeing all the frames. It probably just saw one of them, and not really have the ability to just do the rest. But if I just add another shader, and let's say that it's not the glitch CRT, but it's using like one of the other what the fuck do you mean? The one that they showcased during the demo is not in there? Oh my god. And it doesn't really affect the background. That's crazy. Oh, that's the reason. My bad. That's the reason. Okay, cool. So your scales there, your phase is here. And then you go through an overlay or a screen. And you animate the phase from 0 to 1 kind of thing. You don't press play. They are not animatable, apparently, based on what we just saw here. Shader runtime doesn't support time-based animation. Any source that reads frame.frame or frame.time is rejected. Today it's just like, no. Not good for shaders. So your shaders are not going to have animation, which makes no sense to me, because you kind of want to have your shaders to be either, you know, mouse controlled or something else. Yeah, no, you can animate with the motion tab now, but it's just not. Yeah, I see. So you don't have mouse controls even in there. And So basically in here, you have the ability to get animation, so that's a new thing. The agent is going to be able to do things as well and animate for you if you don't want to take care of all that. It's a very simple system, and they simply have things that are all of these now have keyframes, and you can then just keyframe play based on timeline positioning, which is pretty simple. And I guess they should work. As I mentioned earlier, use that now. Generate shaders, uh, generate the thing that you have in your head right now because it's free, and then in about a month or two, it's probably going to be paid, and it's going to cost way too much. Also, right now, I'm just letting the agent work, which is really bad. Doing manual animation is going to be much better, but yeah, I guess yeah. They have another config, I think, in October, and they usually do beta is out when config is in. So, for example, the agent is was in beta last month. I had access to it last month, and then they officially released it for everyone yesterday or 2 days ago. And they said now this is going to be free while in beta. And last time that they said this, they just had yeah, animation. Yay. So good. So yeah, that's probably in my eyes. This is probably going to happen on at that time in the Indian config, where they will release it as out of beta, which means that at that point it's not going to be free. As always, use as much as possible right now until it's just like out of beta. So it's going to be good. Like right this instant, the AI balance hasn't changed. I'm still at 3,000 credits, which is pretty cool. And as mentioned, this is 3,000 credits is what I burned through for the Figma make or the makeathon in about a day and a half of trying to figure out how to get this thing to work. And I understand that this is like a longer chat. We had like 12 versions of things, but still, it's just like it took me a day to burn through 3,000 credits. So that, yeah, that's the thing. That's not. The export here is pretty simple. You can export in animated format and have your MP4, WebM, SVGs, and so on. And if you switch to dev mode, you have access to the animation section. But I don't know exactly how that works in terms of animation, like what's the content in there, what can you do, what can't you do, is the JSON file a real, god damn it, a real thing? I knew I shouldn't have done that. So I don't know. I would need to have like a lot more time to explore and see if this is good or not good. But yeah, so far it doesn't seem to be pretty good. I'm gonna say that. Um, I think yeah, the thing that I've done as a test was this, and I showcased it earlier. The very basic to me system of just animating the social section and adding the dots for the eyes. Um, as a whatever, very I kind of struggled in the beginning, but it was fine. I haven't checked what the output does, but I'm guessing yes, you can 100% get the animation on your text, you know. Um, and yeah, I don't know if the animated SVG is gonna do anything. What we're gonna see. We're gonna see. It doesn't have the loop for the dots. They are straight on, and I don't think the animation works the same way, but it's missing something. And I'm guessing if I do MP4 instead of SVG, but SVG is most of the time the thing that we want to have. But that's bad. That's worse. Yeah, we get an export page. I don't like this whatsoever. I don't like this whatsoever. I also would love to have the ability to say, I want this with a transparent background. I would love to, do different things. Because that's, yeah, right now it's supported in GIF. It doesn't seem to have a transparent background either. And then last one, let's do WebM. We don't have quality selection. We just have 30 FPS. We don't have anything else. And we'll see that. I'm going to check something as well. Just for the... Ooh. I don't know why there is this thing in the background, but I'm guessing it might be transparent. It might be. And just it's the effect that they wanted to have in their background. Sorry. So the GIF is transparent. GIF is transparent, which is good. The MP4 is not. The SVG is, but it's broken in the animation. And then the WebM is not opening with Ilium. The WebM is supposed to be opening with... Oh, okay. Bitch. Yeah, I can't do that. But now I don't know. Yeah. I can't know if it's transparent or not transparent. do we have? We don't. It seems to be. It is. It is. It is. So it's an option. It's transparent. It kind of works. Not saying that it's good or bad, but that's a good thing. That's a good start. That's a good option. The GIF seems to be okay. No, I did the whole animation manually because the agent was shit. Basically, what happened is the original logo that I have, right? Not right here, right? Which one is it? Is it you? This one. Basically, the social section is split into multiple things, so I don't think you will be able to see this mainly. But there is a linkage issue right there. Also, this is kind of weird in terms of cursor. And then there is another linkage issue right here. And then there is another one a bit later, I think. But nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. That overall made it so that the agent just didn't understand how to do the transition for all the things. And the good part on this is that apparently, and I'm gonna do that again to check, it's pretty easy to get the pass through of animation. So if I go into my animation here, I want to change that to like not position but path. Path is not available because it's not split. So I basically need to get this element right there to be split. God damn it, it's the wrong one. To be split into multiple things, and then I'd be able to edit shit. Like here, for example, I would need to split that into 3 layers, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just going to do that and then get into that element right there. This pissed me off, by the way. This is the first thing, so it's taking off that. That second one right here is getting rid of all these, and then all that as well. And then this one is getting rid of all this, and we should be good for all of that here. So that's my 3 splitted element. And then from there, and I don't know exactly if that would work because it's a union within something. So I have a bit of doubt on what we can do because it is deep inside something. But can I do path? I can do path. And apparently the path animation is just not gonna, it's gonna do the thing that it's supposed to do, but it's kind of gonna break in the beginning. So that's interesting to know. Yes, basically path is stroke animation. And then from here, from what I can tell is that there we have some glitches in our border animation, which makes sense. But I'm gonna see if I can do that here as well. So this one's gonna be a pain in the ass, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try something. Kinda yes. So you have play pose with space. So if you press space bar, it's just gonna do the animation in question. If you don't, not. Can I do this though? Can I right click and no I can't. Okay. Can I do these though? Animation and then I take these, I place them the bit of that at the end. Interesting to see how broken it is, but that's a fun part, I guess. Um, right there, my instinct is to just remove that it doesn't, look the same, but still. And so from here, if I wanted to change my keyframes for this thing, I can just animate the path manually. So in that path system, instead of having an ease in and out, I could have a custom Bezier curve, but I can also change um, some things from my point of view. And if I remember correctly, where this thing is, we have the path trim right there, and I can just say that in that position, for example, my path trim has like its position and its variation at the end kind of thing, so that I can have both of them triggered, and that way I can just check. Uh, Interesting glitch. Interesting thing. So this is a thing. That's what it would, I guess. This is such a weird thing. God damn it. This is just so weird. This is not the trim that I was thinking about. So I'm gonna remove these. There are things that are pretty cool. The thing that I had to do when it comes to the eyes on this, and the thing that I really disliked, is that these things, in order to get my path to be curved and figure out exactly like how this thing is supposed to work, in order to get these handles, I needed to press, I think, Alt and something, which is the native behavior from you know, a regular point of view. But right now, I want this to be like more of a bounce. It's not the case. So, yeah, it's like, for example, here I would probably need to have another animation for the size, and I would probably say that somewhere around here, with height and length being like 12, and then from there changing this to, I don't know, probably 6 and 6, and moving all these somewhere around here. Like I'm expecting before the move, so that basically it grows from the point. And sorry, there is a smell that just happened to not be good. That it smells like a solvent. This makes no sense. But yeah, that kind of change in size is an option. Let me check this. Sorry, give me a sec. I feel like one of my paint can has exploded because of the heat. That might be the reason. And that would be bad.
Seek the light in darkness.
I can't see where it's coming from. That's crazy. I guess. I'm trying to sniff it out. Like and Mark, look on it. It's just I can't sniff it out. But it really smells like someone is painting their house right now, which makes no sense in this heat. No sense. Anywho, I know the mic is still active. That's the point. That's the point. It's just like not me running around and sniffing things as a that you know. Anywho, so one of the things that I do like about what they have is that if you double click on one of the keyframe, it just goes to that keyframe, which is something that I do think is a good thing. But it also like they have done a pretty good job at presenting transitions here and there, so we end up with stuff that is just like kind of working. So for example, here that transition is going to be making the dot like become bigger while we're working through things. So that's a good system. But yeah, it just smells like paint. That's crazy. That's really bad. Like in this heat, painting shit. That's wild. That is wild. But yeah, so you have options in there which I think are pretty good. The as they mentioned, the behavior of the timeline is familiar enough so that you can do things in ways that is okay, but it's more like the curve is not something that you do like F8 on After Effects. Have a good day at work. Don't melt too much. Enjoy the AC there, but don't melt on the way there. Take care of yourself. That's the thing. And then these bitches of handles, god damn it, are just like such a weird system. Like I don't like them as much, but I kind of I mean it kind of works. Um but you know. And is animation can be part of a prototype? Yes, I think yes. It's like a linear style animation, animated 2D illustration, and showcase it instead of clickable. What's that? I think yes. I'm just unaware. I've seen some people that have done tutorials already, and I'm like, fuck off. Give me a day. just just chill. Just stop giving me tutorials like as if you were an expert. Like it's just you're not. I I get it, but goddamn. But you know, I've seen some people do some animations that are pretty cool, like this one. I've seen some people do component animations, so they have like a motion files in the system, and then they use that thing. Oh, a motion file, a motion component, and then they use that in another file. So that's a thing that kind of works. But yes, you would be able to get the animations. That's a thing. Yeah. Um, yeah. It's just like it's crazy. Right. I think it was Meng again that did it. That just pissed me off when I saw that. Yeah. Just I, chill. chill. Chill the fuck out. Um so it makes sense. It makes sense. Design Code is a platform that does tutorials, so it makes sense that they have tutorials, but like you can't you can't record a 10-minute video tutorials on how to use Figma Motion simply uh like I haven't watched the entire thing, but simply by repeating what the event was saying, that's it. So that's I don't any um you prefer the non-Sonum one? I agree with that. But yeah, again, it's the hate that I have against Bang in general is mainly because he's doing the thing that I should do, and I just can't get myself to do the things. Like this video is the thing that we have talked about last week about what is a dead giveaway of an AI generated design, and he's doing a video about it. And it is the type of shit that I should be doing in order to get monetized and have some revenue and shit like this. But it feels so cheap that I'm not doing it. But that is, I should have done that. I should have done that tutorials on how to use Figma Motion and shit. I just can't pull myself to do it. So that's the reason. But yeah, no, technically speaking, you're supposed to be able um to get some tutorials, some like some not some tutorials, but some animated things through components in prototypes. I think that's what I've seen so far, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just like I would rather have proper animation for the SVG animation, and there are things that I would love to be able to do, but I know I can't do. So yeah. Um I think the motion tab, for example, is gonna be something that is you know what, we're gonna try something. We're gonna do that. It's gonna be a potential ID option, whatever. Let's use this file as a base. And I don't know how but I'm gonna do that this makes no sense. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out exactly if this makes any sense to do or not. I was thinking about a regular like a regular menu, and we wanted to animate something, but the basic prototype is good enough. For the sake of the presentation, All right. No, this is bitch ass. I can't show you this because, as always, titties. But I saved it for a reason. Also, sorry, I can show you this. A lot of people are doing this. Their cats are not staying outside. Therefore, the cat door is the exhaust for their AC, and I think this is the best option. This is great. This is great content. I saved this thing because it pissed me off. That guy said Gemini plus anti-gravity, it's easy to vibe code a hero like this. And then they say the prompt is underneath. And the prompt is on their fucking website. You know? That pissed me off. But also, I kind of wanted to call them out in the sense that that hero section is only good because of the video that they stole from something else. And if you just get rid of it, it's fine, but we've seen better for a hero section. So yeah, I was about to just post that, and I used the agent to just generate the layout because that pissed me off to just recreate. But yeah, other than that, it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. The fucking paint scent is still there. So the thing in question that I wanted to potentially create, let's just do that, and it's gonna be okay. But I don't know exactly how that works. That's what we do. That's what we do. So if I have a title right there, and then on the side of this, I'm gonna have also this thing is absolutely broken, and I don't understand why this is so broken. Also, please do rage. Do you have news, by the way, about the contest that you are part of? We'll see if that works. We'll see if that works. Please do rage. Dang. Yeah. Again, the thing that is here, specifically that video, again, I don't think I can show you that, and I don't think I'm going to be logged in on this. Yep, that's what I thought. Log me in. Log me in. It's not even a loop. It's just it's kind of broken. So yeah. This is so slow today. Let me see if sorry, the AC that we talked about earlier today is on Chinese stuff again. So no, just ass on this one. I guess we have a security verification now. That's crazy. Did I save that or did I just like it? If I just liked it, we are fucked. If I saved it, we are good. And I didn't. God damn it. I can't find it. God damn it.
Burning.
Fuck. Huh. And yeah, the liked thing is just gonna be ass, so I can't show you that. Anyways,
Burning. Burning.
yeah. Brandon, what's going on? How are you? How's the day going? I think here, for example, what would make this hero section a lot more interesting is if the top section, the bottom section, and the background were 3 different videos layers that can then be kind of skewed based on mouse position, like just moving around somehow with parallax effect. Yeah, kind of could potentially help, and maybe the I don't know, maybe the plane is going from left to right entirely, and then the trail goes away and then it goes back on. But it could just like make it more interesting than just the static thing. I also think that the subtle video that we have here is for social media, so that it just catch the attention of people, and that's it. So, you know, it's just meh. Again, guessing that the base of the also this is such a. I guess that's a my computer type of situation. Okay, I see. I guess this is just for the presentation, getting a GIF to be able to just present the thing. That's about it. Cool. That's nice. Congrats on that. Congrats on that. Yeah, if it's an initial project that then can be converted into something that is a bit more important, interesting, fun, do it. Don't hesitate to do it. It's just gonna be good. And at the end of the day, it's just like if it gives you some more, you know, some more business later, then that's good. That's the goal. And then if 80% of the credits goes to me, then send me a check when you get paid a big amount. I don't know, you know, in 5 years, something works out. You make a meal, send me something. Good. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. So yes, other than that thing, I don't think the animation is as good as I thought it might be. So let me just check. So if I do this, and then yeah, that makes no sense though. Sorry. Let me do that, and then add an animation on this thing. That's gonna have uh, a bit of a position. I guess we can have like a position of 20 pixel. Like that's the ID, just a simple 20 pixel thing. We're gonna make that in 200 frames, and then god damn it. And then we want to have we want a second one. Which is god damn it, which is not scale, but it's gonna be bitch. My bad. We want this to be position number 2, basically. And that position number 2 is gonna be probably 20 as well. So it goes there, and then instead of sliding in from the left, it's going to slide in from the right, so that we have that thing, I guess. We want the in to be an is in, and this to be an ease out, which I think is going to give us like that transition that we want to have. And then I kind of want to have, why are you adding length for this thing? That makes no sense. I would love to have somehow, not a scale, but a path animation that is travel duplicate. Let's not that. %64 forward. Yeah, it needs to loop. That's the thing. Which means that I can't do that. I can't do travel forwards. We're gonna just remove that, and we're gonna see if that works. Because that right there officially is 375. So I'm gonna do 375 on this. That's the whole, you know, that. And if I put this as a as an alternate stuff in there. I don't know why. This broke, but this broke. Let me place that here. For some reason. What happened if I do this? That's the question, right? I think I see it happen. So yeah. That answer your question. You can create the animation for something, and then it's gonna work in the prototype. So you basically can reduce the amount of subcomponent that you have. So that's a cool thing. I guess the only not issue, but like the only thing that needs to be taken into account is maybe you don't want this to be all the times. Maybe it's just on hover, you want the animation to happen. So you basically would need to have this thing and a second version of this that is the default one, and it goes in between default state non-animated to animated state on hover. Like while hovering, you get the animation in. So that's a thing that could work. Like for example, if we did this and we get an arbitrary version, and we say that this is default, and then this is, you know what? I'm not gonna do default. I'm just gonna do hover false, true false, and that's just hover. So from here, if we just say that goes there, and on while hovering, it's just instantly changed on hover, so that it doesn't have any switch. That means that if I take this thing and I put it right here again, and we go into kill some people, we go into this again, the animation is weirdly working. So that's kind of bad. I'm guessing this is because I have kept, because I made a duplicate, the animation here is still there. So I'm gonna just remove it. I'm removing it. And now that these animations have been removed as well, so that's bad. That is bad. Okay. If these animations are here, but then these animations are just not visible, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have a loop button, but the animation loops kind of thing right there. But that's an on hover situation, so I'm guessing it's always animating basically, which is not great. But yeah, so you basically need to keep the animations on all of your things and then just disable the animation visibility on variants of the same component. So that's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. And then yeah, animations don't exist here. So, you know, whatever. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh my god. Oh my god. The temperature of my computer is scary, and that means that I'm probably gonna end stream soon-ish, just for safety sakes, because yeah, this thing needs to go in the fridge. So yeah, you could probably just loop things manually. I'm guessing by default, based on the thing that we showcased earlier, this does have somehow also why. Yeah, not these. This is looping manually. Basically, the length of the animation is 200 and it's 2,500 millisecond, and then it is looping here. But if I say that it doesn't loop, it's just going to stop. So the looping button for the thing is like this. I can make it reverse, meaning that if it's in one place, it just does the animation in reverse. But just looping the animation over and over again is going to be there. But the thing that I've done for the shake of the arrow is, I think, the looping that you were talking about. So that's why I was talking about it. But yeah, other than that, that's there. And I'm guessing if it's just like once, it's gonna end at that point. So that means that if I have an on appear animation thing, for example, then you can have like a one-time animation. I just fear that this thing is probably gonna be on appear on the page and not on appear in the viewport. It's probably going to be a bit different, but yeah. Other than that, that's the thing. It's pretty simple. The video from Figma explaining how to use the motion system is good. Like, it's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. They've done a pretty good job at presenting it. And it's just 8 minutes. So in 8 minutes, you have everything that you need to learn from there. You know, it's just basic motions and presentation of how things work. So I do like this. God damn it, sorry, this is with a timestamp. But yeah, that's a pretty good thing. I don't like this, and I don't like the system that they have in place for this, because this is such a wild animation system. Let me just create a new file just for that, so that I show you what I'm talking about. Because what they have is you take something like this and you select, this is an 800 by 420 page thingy, so that, you know, we good. And then in there, you just add a rectangle, which is going to be right there. Like, that's their initial point. We're going to do 200 by 200. So that's bigger, and 50 on the side. And then we go. So what they wanted to showcase here is just, if I add a motion, which is position based, I said it's going, it's sliding in from the left. So it's sliding from one point to the other. I can kind of move the thing, but it's a bit of a weird system, and you kind of need to make this thing a custom animation, because otherwise it's just a weird thing. So what you want to then do is, in that point, which is your endpoint officially, you need to animate your position right there, and then in your end position right here, you want to animate your position to be somewhere else. And by default, it has these arc thing, but the arc isn't really available until you press your command key or control key. And it feels wrong, but it works. But there is like a ton of things in there, in that system, that just doesn't feel right to me. So I do like to go into like that system of properly animating shit manually instead, and doing that instead, for example. That's an easier way for me to just do things. But I would love, for example, to say, or maybe here we could have a ramp in that animation to then do something a bit different. I don't know. It could work. But then the other thing that I'm also very annoyed about,
This is just me being thinking about motions and so on.
and hot and can't think. So that's, anyways. The position of this shit in my computer is also absolutely breaking right now. So the position of this shit is not exactly where I want it to be, because I kind of want to have the anchor of that animation to be here, because that's the trigger that we need to have, but it's not an option. Like I can't, well, as far as I know, I can't move that somewhere, like within the rotation point. I can't use one of the key to move the anchor point. The anchor point is always going to be in the center, and that's kind of bad. This is something that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So, small things, but I would love to be able to then, like when I reach here, for example, I would love to be able to say, well, right there when I drop, I want to have like a bit of a tilt, but in order to get like a bit of a tilt, it needs to stay on the same line that we were in, right? Because it needs to feel natural. But if I'm not like making or placing a fucking anchor right there and then moving to that point, ensuring that my anchor is positioned properly, and then 3 mm after it just goes back to these points, for example, that's like, that needs to be there. Like that makes no sense in terms of animation system. So right now I need to reanimate it the other way around to back to 0 basically. And that is going to be my rotation, which is going to get -98. So it's going to get -90 right here. And then the position is going to go back to where it was, but I can kind of bring it back a bit so that we have that kind of effect here. But then these needs to be extended, but I can't really extend that section. And if I extend that, it works on this, but it doesn't work on what we want to have. So it's this system is weird. There are things in there that will make sense, but it's just like it's too familiar. But it kind of works. But it's just gonna be so much tweaking and you know. And it's fine as an animation here to have like the proper balancing act. I just wish that I could just change the anchor point positioning, and right now it doesn't seem to be the case. What if that is the case somewhere? Then maybe I'm just missing something. Again, at that instant, my computer is having a lot of issues, so you have the edit anchor point right there, but for some reason when you do that, it's just like it's a weird. I mean, it's there, but it just doesn't behave as you expect it to behave. So, I don't know. Like I want the anchor point to change during the navigation or during the animation, not constant. That's a fine thing, but it's just like it needs to be somewhere else. Also, now it just fucked everything. Like it was great, and now the reverse is just not working. So like it's fine. I think it's gonna be improved upon for sure. There is a ton of things that just need to be added, and I'm more of a like I do like the ability to just do shit like this, and then after the fact, come and move stuff. Boy. I'm gonna blame my computer right now being the little bitch that it is, because it's just like it's supposed to work, but it just doesn't. I don't know.
Why don't you confess?
But right here, for example, in that animation, the anchor point positioning for me, if I wanted to have that nice speedy thing, would be at the heel, but it would be at the heel here while I'm doing the transition. And then when I reach that point, I would change the anchor point positioning. So, like that's a bit of a weird thing for me, where God damn it. But that's the thing. So I would love to have swap with speed. Like it's fast enough, so it's just gonna raise the heel of the box somehow. Let's do 8 pointers. It's big enough so that we move it, and then it's supposed to just drop here. So right there, want this to still be at 8, but then here at the end of our animation, want to go back at 0. So we want to have that, like, so it's just speed kind of thing, and the animation curve is supposed to be for the transition. It's supposed to not be linear here. We want it to be basically like this. So it's just like fast, and then kind of sliding in. Which I guess it's probably gonna be this. Yeah, maybe. Can do that. Can play with that. This might be a bit strong. But again, that place right here, I would love to like lift the rest. So from here, I would have another position translation thing that is happening after. So it's just like anchor point would be changed, and I don't think that secondary position would do the job in question. Like it's mostly going to be from here, we want to change that anchor point positioning again without changing the previous one, because right now that's going to break everything. So I don't know exactly how I can do this and get my animation correctly, other than once I reach this, I need to rotate and move up. Because that's just like the anchor point is going to be anchored to the shape and or the layer and not editable apparently, unless I'm missing something, which is absolutely an option. But yeah, right there, if I just wanted to get this back, I would get like a -4 degree and something like this, basically, so that when we do that, we go back to 0 and down, that we have that teeny tiny thing at the end. What if the first keyframe of the second position animation starts where the last keyframe of the first position animation ends? It's the same thing. You can't really extend it. You can't, apparently, based on what I just saw, you can't change the anchor point. If I add like another animation thing, which is not really a thing, but if I select this thing and I add an animation on top, that animation system, even if I place it exactly where the previous one ended, it doesn't change. Like the anchor point is the same, so I can't really change said anchor point on that second animation. So in order to change anchor points while animating, at least from what I can tell, is in order to get this thing, I would probably need to do up to here, like when it's flat. So up to that is one layer, and then I duplicate that layer and I make it another thing that is the same thing, but that way the anchor point can be changed. That if I duplicate that layer right here and I change or I take all of my placements that are there, for example, and god damn it, all of these visually, like right there, they are going to do the same animation thing, which is good in a way. But if I just take this and take its anchor point and just place it, just place it there, which is where it's supposed to be, then we should be able to get like the correct situation. But it's just because of that system being wrong. It's just a pain in the ass for no fucking reason. So we basically just need to ask Figma for keyframes on anchor points. That's it. Or something specific that I don't know about. The fact that this shit is not, yeah. Again, it's mostly people like myself people that have motion design background and or animation understanding that will complain about Figma motion, which is exactly what we want. We want the people that have the skills to complain about it. Gasface, well, come on in. How are you? To complain about it, and then Figma to make the adjustments that needs to happen in order to make the thing better, because it is really good so far. Like we haven't um, had too many issues with it. It's just like a bit complex to figure out at times, and there are things that just don't make sense whatsoever. Meaning that if you are in After Effects and you know how Premiere work and so on, if you have a keyframe and you hold the Alt key on your keyboard and you click and drag, you will duplicate that keyframe. In Figma Motion, if you do that, you are losing the keyframe. It just deletes keyframes if you click on them with the Alt key on, which makes absolutely no sense. Like the Alt key is meant for duplication. So that's a weird system that they have. And I would rather they use the familiar thing that people that do motion design know how to do. But other than that, I get it. I get it. This is God. I can fry eggs on this. Again. But yeah, no, other than that, I can probably fry an egg on my forehead as well. Yes, that's an option. Yes, Face, you arrived kind of late. Not late, but like late. I need to find someone to raid because my computer is melting and I need to lower the temperature in the house. And that is currently not happening. So I need to do something about it. As I mentioned, I have a fan that is like a small handheld fan, for yourself, that is underneath my Mac, that is blowing hair, like right under it, and it's still burning to the touch. So that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. And I would rather not lose that computer because that's the only one that I have. And, it's just, goddamn, too much. And that fan is fine. The one that I put on the other side is fine, but it's just like not enough to clear this. So, it happens. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We had a good conversation in the beginning with, what is available when it comes to like ACs around here, which is nothing. So we will see. Stody, do you have someone that is live at this time of day? We have X humming and Jackie, but I don't see anyone else that we know. And I know you know people. So that's which Frank? Is the name just Frank? Really? It is. It is indeed. Well, you know what? Let's go there. That would be a first. I think Frank's usually send us here. So let's go there. Let's go there. Cool. So, as always, Thanks for me here. Appreciate it. I'm gonna do my best to cool the house so that on Monday we have something to do that is better than this. A bit longer stream, but like so far, I'm just dying, and we'll see what we can do. Nonetheless, if you have a question, I'm not live. The usual is the Discord. If you have perfumes, use that, and if you have links, use that. And that's about it. I'm not going to plug the other two because it makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, I should, unless I'm dead, be back on Monday at 1:30 p.m. Paris time. That's the plan. That's the plan. Lone Traveler, you won. Congrats. Congrats. So that's a pretty good activity. It makes sense. Bad cop as well was expected. But yeah. Yeah, I should be back on Monday. As always, I will see if I can have some more information about Figma and the updates to explain. But yeah, as always, eat something, drink something, specifically now if you're in Europe, and be kind to each other. And I'll see you all on Monday. Bye.